In World War I, survival wasn't just about courage. It was about what you carried, what you wore, and what you could reach in seconds. Today, we're not looking at battles. We're looking at the small pieces of gear that quietly kept soldiers alive, day after day, in the trenches. Between 1914 and 1918, the Western Front became a world of mud, rain, wire, and gas. A place where the ground itself could injure you, where cold could take your strength, where a few seconds finding the right item could mean everything. So in this episode, we'll walk through 9 essentials, not trophies, not weapons, just the gear that helped men stay warm, breathe, move, dig, observe, and treat wounds. We'll go one by one. Helmet, gas mask, boots, coat or cape, entrenching tool, periscope, wire cutters, canteen and mess kit, and field dressing. And at the end, we'll connect them into one simple idea: how a soldier survived a trench day. Section 1. Helmet. The helmet is the symbol everyone remembers, but in the trenches, it wasn't about looking heroic, it was about staying functional. Early in the war, many soldiers still wore soft caps, but trench warfare created a new kind of danger, not a single bullet, but fragments, shrapnel from shells, debris from collapsing earthworks, tiny pieces of metal you never see coming. A steel helmet couldn't stop everything, but it could reduce the injuries that ended a soldier's day or his life. It was simple, heavy, hot in summer, cold in winter, and still one of the most important upgrades of the entire war. And then came something even more terrifying than shrapnel, something you couldn't fight with bravery. Section 2. Gas mask. Gas changed the rules because it attacked the body directly. You didn't need to be exposed on the front line to be hit. You just needed to be downwind. That's why the gas mask wasn't optional. It was carried where your hands could reach it immediately. The bag, the straps, the filter, every part mattered because time mattered. In a trench, visibility is already limited. Breathing is already hard, and panic spreads fast. The mask didn't make you comfortable, it just gave you a chance. And notice this, gas gear is one of the clearest examples of trench survival being about preparation, not strength. Because once gas arrives, it's already too late to start thinking. Section 3. Boots. Boots seem ordinary until you imagine standing in wet mud for hours. In the trenches, feet were a constant problem. Cold, moisture, swelling, infection, blisters that never had time to heal. A soldier could be fully armed and still become useless if his feet failed. Boots had to grip. They had to resist water as much as possible. They had to survive endless walking on broken ground. And when boots weren't enough, soldiers used extra wraps, extra socks, anything they could find, not for comfort, but for survival. In trench warfare, sometimes the most dangerous enemy isn't a weapon, it's exposure. Section 4. Coat or cape. A trench is not a shelter. It's an open wound in the ground. A coat or cape wasn't a fashion choice. It was a barrier between a human body and relentless weather. Rain, wind, mud, cold nights that never fully warm up. And it wasn't only about warmth. Heavy, wet clothing affects movement. It steals energy. It changes how long you can stay alert. A good outer layer could mean the difference between still standing tomorrow and collapsing before the day is done. This is why trench survival gear often looks simple. Fabric, leather, metal. Basic materials doing basic jobs in the harshest conditions. Section 5. Entrenching Tool. If you want to understand trench warfare, remember this. Soldiers didn't just fight. They built, they repaired, they dug. The entrenching tool, spade, shovel, pick, was a daily survival tool. You used it to deepen the trench, fix a wall, drain water, carve a step, build cover. Sometimes you dug not because it was planned, but because you needed protection right now. In the trench, the ground is both your enemy and your armor, and this tool was what shaped that armor. It's not glamorous, but it might be one of the most important objects a soldier carried. Section 6. Periscope. In trench warfare, the most dangerous thing you can do is simply look, because the moment you rise above the edge, you become a target. That's why trench periscopes mattered. They let soldiers observe without exposing their heads. A small advantage, but a critical one. The periscope doesn't win battles by itself. It wins minutes. It reduces risk. It helps you gather information before you move. And in a world where every movement is dangerous, information is a form of protection. Section 7. Wire cutters. Barbed wire wasn't just an obstacle. It was a system designed to slow you down, trap you, and force you into open ground. Wire cutters were the quiet answer to that problem. Not a dramatic weapon, just a practical tool that could create a path. In trench conditions, cutting wire wasn't easy. The wire could be thick, tangled, hidden under mud or reinforced. But the idea was simple. Remove what blocks movement. And in the trenches, movement is survival. Even one small opening can change what's possible. Section 8. Canteen/mess kit. It's easy to forget the basics. Water, food, heat. A canteen isn't exciting until you're exhausted, cold, and dehydrated. A mess kit isn't dramatic until it's the only way you can carry and eat a warm meal. Trench life was long stretches of waiting, working, and enduring. The body needs fuel, or everything collapses. Focus, strength, decision-making. These items represent something important. Even in war, survival is still about being human. Your body still needs the same things it always needed. The trench just makes it harder to get them. Section 9. Field dressing. And finally, field dressing. A small package that could be used in seconds. In trench warfare, injuries didn't always come from dramatic moments. Sometimes it was shrapnel fragments, a fall, an accident, infection, cuts. Things that happened in cramped, wet, stressful conditions. A field dressing was the immediate first step. Stop bleeding, protect the wound, buy time until proper medical care. It's a reminder that survival gear isn't only about preventing harm. It's also about what you do after harm happens. Because in war, even a small injury can become serious fast. So let's connect the 9 essentials. The helmet protects your head from fragments. The gas mask protects your lungs when the air becomes a threat. Boots protect your feet, your ability to move. The coat protects heat, your ability to endure. The entrenching tool shapes cover, your ability to survive in place. The periscope protects your eyes, your ability to observe safely. Wire cutters clear barriers, your ability to pass through. Canteen and mess kits sustain your body, your ability to keep going. And field dressing buys time, your ability to recover. None of them are heroic by themselves, but together they explain how soldiers made it through a trench day.
World War I is often remembered through massive battles and huge numbers, but survival is always personal. It's one soldier, one cold night, one decision, one small object in a pocket. And when you look closely, you realize the trenches were not only a battlefield, they were an environment. And these tools were the answers humans built to survive that environment. If you want a part 2, we can do the same format for trench tools in daily trench life, or move to WW1 Aircraft by nation next. Tell me which direction you want, and I'll build the full script and shot list for the next episode.